Good morning students, let us continue today with the last invertebrate phyla, that is Echinodermata. Echinodermata animals are having spines on their body. So their body is having all spines and they have a tough body. Can you guess what this is? It has two words. It can be a compound word. There are some more examples like sea urchin or bristle, star, etc. Starfish is a common echinoderm. They have the mouth on the lower side of the body and anus on the upper side of the body, and they move from one place to another very slowly by special organs called tube feet. There are many tube feet on the lower part of the body. This is called a central disc and it is a radial symmetry and it has 5 arms. So if you cut it into halves and any of the planes, it will be equal. So that is called a radial symmetry. Mostly they are marine, live in water, that is sea and oceans. Okay, now let us continue with the next broad classification, that is Kingdom Vertebrata. Vertebrates are divided into 5 classes. The first one is species or fish. The second one is amphibians. Then we have reptiles. Then we have aves, that is birds. And last is mammals. Let us do a comparative study of these. First is the habitat. Species are fish, so they live either in marine water or fresh water like ponds, streams, rivers, or sea or ocean. So all of them are aquatic. They cannot live outside the water. Now amphibians can live on land as well as in water. So they are found in both the habitats, in water as well as on the land. Reptiles are mostly terrestrial and some of them may be found in water. So few are aquatic, reptiles, snakes and all. Now birds are mostly found on trees, so they are actually called arboreal or aerial. We cannot call them terrestrial because they are half the time on the land but half the time they are flying. And again your mammals are mostly terrestrial. And some mammals are aquatic because they have adaptation to live in the water like dolphin, blue whale, etc. Seal, etc. Now coming to the next point, that is whether they are cold-blooded or warm-blooded. I'll just explain to you what is cold-blooded and warm-blooded first. Cold-blooded animals are having a temperature of their body which will fluctuate according to the outer temperature. If outer temperature is low, their body temperature will be equal to that temperature. If the outer temperature is high, it will become high. The body temperature will become high. It will be equal to outside environmental temperature. So they are called cold-blooded animals, and species, that is fish, amphibians and reptiles, are cold-blooded. Now, the two groups which are remaining are aves, that is birds and mammals, are warm-blooded. What does it mean? Their body temperature remains constant, like how we have our body temperature. When it is high, we say we have fever, but otherwise it is normal, always same it will remain. So how it happens is, in birds and mammals, the body temperature remains constant by either sweating during the warm season like in summer, and during the cold season we shiver. So these shivering and sweating, both of them help the body temperature to remain constant. Now coming to the next is locomotory organ. You can make the same table in your books also as you see the video. After seeing the video, you can just write it in the book so that it's easy. You don't have to look at the textbook at all. Now, coming to locomotory organ, in the fish, it is actually the forelimbs or hind limbs are modified because they have to go in the water. They are modified into fins and also tail. Fins and tail are modification for them to swim. Now, in terrestrial amphibians, actually the locomotory organs are legs with webbed feet. This is the special characteristics of the amphibians. They have long limbs, forelimbs and hind limbs, and they have webbed feet to move in the water well. Then reptiles, its legs. Some reptiles like snakes do not have legs, so they have tough ventral scales or tough ventral plates for them to move on the hard surfaces. Birds, the locomotory organs are modified into wings for them to fly. Now, in birds, there is one special characteristic, that is they have hollow bones. So they make these hollow bones make the body very light for them to fly. Now, mammals, it's two pair of limbs. In different animals, you see them on all the four limbs, like tiger, lion, dog, cat, whereas we can walk on our two legs. So it's two pair of limbs. They might be modified in different ways where the animal belongs. Okay, now coming to the next. What about the respiration in all these animals? So next is the respiratory organ. The respiratory organ in fish is, you'll be knowing, it is gills. In the amphibians, there are three respiratory organs. One is gills, one is the moist skin, and also the lungs. Now why this is so? Because the amphibians have a life cycle. A part of it is in the water, that is larvae, and they breathe by gills. They are just like larvae and tadpole breathe by gills. When it becomes big, the frog or the toad or salamander, when they come on the ground or land, they breathe by the moist skin in water, and when they come out of the water, they breathe by lungs like us. So they have 3 respiratory organs. The reptiles breathe by lungs. The birds also breathe by lungs, but they are called insects. And mammals breathe by lungs. So you cannot write nostrils or nose, you have to write lungs. Now coming to the shape, all these animals have different shapes. We are stressing on the first one, pisces and aves. They have a streamlined shape, streamlined in this shape of the fish you must have seen, or a boat shape or an aeroplane shape is called a streamlined shape. Why is it so? Because these have to cut through friction in the water and this has to cut through air. So this shape gives them a better movement. If it was like this, can you imagine? It has to cut through a bigger surface and here it has to cut through a little surface. So you can imagine a fish like this? No. Now coming to the exoskeleton or the outer part of the body. The fish, those who have written must have seen scales on the body. Okay, so they have scales on the body. Amphibians have a moist, slimy skin. You cannot hold it, it will just go away from your hand because of the slimy body. Then the reptiles are having dry, scaly body. Dry and scaly body. The aves, their body is covered by feathers. And mammals, the body is covered by hair or fur. There are exceptions in the water mammals. They may not have same like us. Now some examples here are, in pisces we have 2 different types of fish. One is the bony and one is cartilaginous. What does it mean? Bony fish is made up of both have skeleton, both have vertebral column, but here it is made up of bones and here it is soft and flexible, like in our ear or nose you can hold it and move it because the inside bone is soft and flexible. So bony fish example is mackerel, here example is shark. So there are 2 types of fish. Now coming to the amphibians, there's only some examples are toad, frog, salamander. There is one more found in Goa. Sicilian it is called and it is found in Goa, but we don't have the name in your books. Now reptiles, all of them will have a dry skin and scaly skin. Reptiles and aves, there was one I had asked you last time to find out about the bird. It was belonging to bird or reptile. The scientists didn't know, but today it is put in a proper category. Did you find out about this? Archaeopteryx is a animal which had features of reptiles as well as birds. So it had a dry scaly skin, it had a long tail with the scales, and it was a body like a bird. So it had a beak and the body was like a bird. But today scientists have put it in one of these. I have told you to find out. In the next class I will be telling you where it belongs. Till then you find out and keep. Now mammals have another feature. They give birth to young ones. Here fish, frog, reptiles, all of them, and apes, they are egg-laying, they lay eggs. But these mammals give birth to young one. They give birth to young one, so they have mammary glands to feed the baby with the milk. So with this we are completing this lesson. Please do all the exercises what are given in the book. They are very easy and very simple because pictures are given. You have to, based on the picture, you have to write the answers. Some examples here are right from your domestic animals or to the wild animals, and also some which are there is a flying mammal also, that is bat. There is egg, except there are two to three examples which give eggs, lay eggs, that is spiny anteater, double platypus. They don't give birth to young one. And here there is one exception, that is shark, that gives birth to young one. All others are laying eggs. So this chapter is over. So please go through the whole lesson after viewing the video and answer all the question answers on the textbook. There is space. Thank you.